It's a question many Long Islanders don't have the answer to.
Do you know where Long Island's drinking water comes from?
Nope.
I have no clue.
Well, Long Island is one of just a dozen places in the nation designated as a sole source aquifer. That means our only source of drinking water comes from naturally formed aquifers underground. However, decades of industrial development is jeopardizing the quality of our water.
When you have 3 million people living, working, playing right on top of their water supply, you're bound to have some problems.
And the state DEC commissioner tells News 12 that local water suppliers aggressively test for contaminants and the water coming out of your tap is safe to drink. Joining us now is Paul Granger. He's a superintendent of the Port Washington Water District. He's also a Long Island Water Conference Legislative Committee chairman and was recently appointed by the state legislature to serve on the newly created Drinking Water Quality Council. Paul, first, thanks for coming in. I appreciate your time, as always. Let's talk about our sole source aquifer system. What does that mean for an island when that's the only source of water we have?
Well, that's our only source of drinking water. There is no other alternatives for us other than going to the Great South Bay or perhaps the Long Island Sound, which would not be viable. So we really
very expensive to try to do.
And very expensive to boot. So we need to make every effort to keep our water protected and make sure it's clean.
And our aquifers, they suffer from saltwater intrusion, from all kinds of naturally occurring things, but also there are other issues like nitrogen and contaminants that go into our
Right. We're dealing a lot with legacy issues. Back in the 1930s and 40s, Long Island was a manufacturing center. So we're dealing with plumes of industrial solvents. That's a challenge that we want to protect our groundwater from. Unfortunately, in many cases, the groundwater has been impacted by these plumes. So we're working with our regulators to make sure that the contamination stays away from our wells, or if we're dealing with contamination, what type of treatment do we need?
Okay. Let me ask you this. Is our water safe to drink?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I drink it. That's the #1 question I get as superintendent. And, you know, I have friends, family, and myself, and I drink the water straight from the tap. So I have absolute confidence in our drinking water standards in terms of the quality of our water. But I can understand people's concern because of cancer and other diseases. They're unsure of what to do, but the quality of our water is monitored not only by the water suppliers, but by the health department, and there's a lot of checks and balances in place.
Well, let's talk about the Water Quality Council, because this is something that the governor has just recently come up with to help clean up some of our aquifer issues that we have. What is the Water Quality Council, and what are you doing so far? I know you've met one time so far, right?
Yeah, it's a list. It's a council of different professionals. We have water suppliers, we have professional engineers, we have academic professionals that have experience in public health protection and evaluating different parameters for protecting public health in terms of how do you set drinking water standards. So it's a very good, diverse group of professionals. We also have representatives from the Department of Environmental Conservation and Health Department. So it's a good group of diverse people, and I think we'll get to where we need to go with setting standards for these emerging compounds.
Are we doing enough? Are our officials doing enough to help clean the water?
Yeah, I've seen a lot in the past 2 years. Many thanks to the governor and the legislature for creating the council. But we had passed this year the Clean Water Infrastructure Act, where $2.5 billion for both water and drinking water and wastewater projects was presented, or available to water supply systems. So our legislators are getting it. If you look at what we need now, we need about $40 billion for the next 20 years. So $2.5 billion is a step in the right direction. And I'm encouraged with a lot of the action that the state has taken. I've seen the Department of Environmental Conservation break down its silos and working very closely with the health department. So there's a lot of good things going. I'm very optimistic looking forward, but we can't get complacent. We need to keep vigilant and keep the pressure on and keep on moving in the right direction.
Big topic, important topic, Paul Granger.
Yes.
Appreciate your time. Thanks for coming in. All right, when we come back, Bill Corbett.